Greetings, this is Scholar Saunders Singh. What's current? I'm black. I'm back like cook crack, and I'm back in black. So I won't mess up that line, but it happens. This whole show is dedicated to my story. I put it in the description, just the beginning of it, the bare essentials, the introducing the characters, introducing the what's going on in the scenes, what's happening, what's occurring. And I think it's great. I love it. It's my story. I love it. There's a lot of stories from other people that I love too, but when it's your own, it's like your own baby. You're gonna treat it right. You're gonna raise it up in the way it should go. It will not depart from it, as they say. But yeah, so it's great. This is the only advertising I've been doing all week, and I've been getting, numbers that have been, close to, numbers I would get if I were hustling the whole time. I guess what they said: when you try hard, that's when you die hard. I was trying real hard. I was going in. I was like, you got to read this. You got to share it. You got to put this. I was putting that on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. And I was getting like 4 or 5 views, a read. They call them reads. I got 4 or 5 reads. So I had to do something quick. I had to think of something on my feet, and just not do a damn thing. Other than this is my only advertising. So whoever's watching this, whoever's going to share this is the only advertising I get for my story. Vessel Control Part 2. Added my own echo. Yeah, so Vessel Control Part 2 it's an epiphany to me. It's like what I always have wondered about a certain subject of our culture. Thousands of people do this every year. For what reasons? There are many. It varies. But I would say, this is an achievement more so than a tragedy. This is an achievement. I could be wrong. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I just thought this particular instance, this situation that people find themselves in which they find themselves, it could be horrific. It could be terrible. Could be, awful. But why can't it also be beautiful? Why can't it also be, well, damn, what else can he do? What else can she do? She's going to top that? So I just wondered that. I always wondered that in the back of my mind, and I had the opportunity to write the story of it. I thought, everything came into place. Everything came it was like a locking device becoming unlocked. Like all the different locks are just unlocked all on themselves almost. That's how the story went. So whoever's in here is one person viewing. Are you shy or what's going on? Let me make sure I get that up here, by the way. Let me make sure I get that. It's the hottest story on the web. You got to read and share it. And subscribe and like and comment and tip. I don't think they do the pledge anymore. I doubt that they do that. But yeah, so this story is very vital. It's serious, but it's not sad. All right, there's Roz with the obligatory like 100. I'm gonna see the light go up. Watch, little light is about to go up. Hold on, just give it a minute. It's the algorithm. Algorithm's crazy. It's slow right now, but I appreciate it, Roz. It's gonna show in a few seconds. I know it will, because you had that obligatory light. So yeah, this story is I hope it really gives you a shock. Hope you won't be surprised necessarily because of the reason behind this, what he says throughout this. And when I'm saying I'm saying the main character, Rear Admiral Rodney Carr. So you have to understand the words he says and the lessons that are taught, and just grasp all that he says, and the reason why he says it. He doesn't just talk to just be talking. He says something because he has a meaning behind it, a whole idea behind it. So that's the power of storytelling. You're able to convey a message, but it's through art. So you don't. So it's like there's a message, which is medicine. That's the theme. The theme is medicine, but characterization, plot, and style are all like the spoonful of sugar that make the theme go down. Pause. But you know what I'm saying? That's what it's like. That's exactly what it's like. I'm gonna check right now. See, it probably went down a lot. I'm sure it went down a lot, but I'm still not mad at it. Okay. It went up a lot. A lot. Okay. It went from 5 on August 17th to 40 today. And in between, it was 11, 19, 17, 20, and it just doubled that from yesterday. So I went up 20 points up to 40. So I'm definitely pushing this episode of Skylar Saunders seeing. I think it could be this. I don't know. That's the weird thing. It's like they give you a few metrics. They don't give you the whole, sources of where, the traffic is actually originates. They don't give you that much information. But I'm happy tonight. I'm happy. I got 40 views. 40. I'm so used to, excuse me. I'm so used to saying views. 40 reads. They call them reads on Vocal.media. If you have this amount of reads, then you're pretty good. You're riding high. This is some of the most reads I've had in a long time. I haven't had 40 that much in a week, and I'm not going hard. Like I just said, I just got done saying Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Well, Twitter, X, Twitter, whatever. It's what it is. What are you gonna do? What do you call it? X, Instagram, Facebook. What else? There's another one. I can't. Let me see. X, Instagram, Facebook. I don't know what to do with Snapchat. I tried that. I don't know what the hell. Threads is one. I had gone into Messenger. Maybe this is the reason why it is. This could be it because I put it in the Messenger. So that gave me that bump. I don't know. I'm feeling myself. Get the belly rub. I'm feeling myself. Pause. Pats on the back. So that's what the whole point. It is a money game. It is a I have more reads than you game. If there's a story that has 5 views and is excellent, great. For some reason it has 5 reads. I had 7 views, but if it only had 5 reads and it's excellent, it's the greatest. It's going to be the number 1 spot. It's going to be the best. And then there's another one that has 5,000 to 10,000, maybe 100,000 or a million or 10 million. They're going to pick the 10 million over the 5, even though that one might even have been better. So I'm playing the game. I'm playing how it should be. It's all an economic game. It's all economics. They're looking for the most, reads, because that generates money for them. That gives money, a little bit of money for the artists. Mainly the house wins, and that's good. I'm not knocking that. I'm not hating on it. I'm not, griping. Oh, they always get more money. No, that's great because that means that the house is able to build more, is able to create more. You're able to create more. It's beautiful. It's a wonderful thing. So I would definitely advise you to read this story and share it and comment and like it and tip it. Do all the things that you can possibly do to aid my journey. Because the journey of Rear Admiral Rodney Carr deserves such attention. Like they said in the great play, The Death of a Salesman, attention must be paid. Attention must be paid. Attention must be paid to the hottest story on the web, Vesicle Control Part 2. I'm very adamant about this. I just looked at the numbers. The numbers are almost like they say off the chart. Well, it looks like it's off the chart. It looks like this. Or like this. That's what it looks like. I have a big, green line on a bar graph. And that means money to me. I get paid because of that. And nobody's talking about it. That's the reason why I'm saying I'm like the only voice for vocal, ironically. There's thousands of voices for them, but do they really show? Do they really care? I've seen a few videos online. I say, yeah. They're talking about vocal. They're like, oh, it's not that great of a site. They're haters, subjective haters. They don't know what they're talking about. Vocal is an excellent site. I made so much money with them, tax-free. And it's fun. It's like a learning environment. It's a nurturing environment. It's a let you know when somebody else is published. That's awesome. That's cool. It gets to a point where you're like, oh my gosh, there's all these people, I can't read them all, and that's true, but you try to do your best with what you got. So I'm definitely dedicating this entire show to Vessel Control Part 2. That is my baby. That is my shining star. That is the best one into the next one. Does anybody ever said that? Who said that? It's my best one to my next one. Because that's what it is. You say, oh, this is my best effort. This is my best work ever. And then you get to your next work. Oh, this is my best work ever. This is the best thing I've ever done. You don't ever. I don't hear anybody say, well, few people say this is my best work, but some people do say this is my best work. But then they come up with another piece of work, and they gotta say, well, this is my best work, until they say, oh, maybe this one wasn't all that good. Maybe you should stay home. Don't go to the theaters. Don't, don't go to the playhouse. Don't go to the cinema. Don't when you're in your TV, go to another streaming service, get another show, go on YouTube, do something else. Don't read my book, don't watch my TV show, don't watch my movie, But that's what it's like. It's weird like that. It's weird. And that's why there's very few people on here. I don't think it is for here. It might have been because I put it on the YouTube, not the YouTube, the Facebook, the sci-fi, what is it called? The sci-fi, it's not a channel. What is it called? God damn it. It's like a channel. But I put on the sci-fi. I got 2 hearts and 1 heart, and I guess people were reading it, and nobody really replied to me. Nobody said, oh, this is good. This is great. But I have to harp on that same idea. The reason behind this story is because something I always had in my mind. Like sometimes when people do things like this, and I mean this, what goes on, this is part of the plot. When people do this, they're not always unhappy. They're not always disturbed by demons and, or do a lot of awful things prior to doing this. They just do it, and it's cool, and it's happening, and it's what it is. It's like the guy had 35 years of service. What the hell is he gonna do? Was he gonna go back on Earth? He's a fleet commander, a fleet Rear Admiral, to be precise. He's the CEO. He's the skipper. He's the commanding officer. What is it? What is he supposed to do? I ask you. So he shows himself to be of strong character, morality, a great sense of humor. You know, he's not bitter. He's not forlorn. He's not showing off all the different wars he's been in. He never had to go in the battle. He never had to use his guns on his ship. That's in the story. That's part of the plot. I had to get that a little bit away, but he never had to do any of that in anger. All that came out of reality, being truthful, being honest, being a great leader. Talk about leadership skills. He's one of the most selfish, officers in the fleet, and that's what made him great. That's what made him a good person. He was moral. He was very selfish. In the story, he is selfish. He's a selfish person, so that makes him a good person. And a lot of people can't understand that. That's going way over. People say, "Oh, what? Well, you can't be a good person and selfish." That means you're taking one thing that is right and trying to make it things that are wrong. You're trying to make right and right make wrong. No, selfishness is a good thing. It's a virtue. In the book, in a good dictionary from like the 30s or 40s, it'll say selfishness is concern with one's own self interest or one's own interest. And in a dictionary today, you'll find somebody who is, egregious and avaricious and, is ready to, slit the throat of anybody just to get their aims. I mean, I'm putting a lot of jelly on it, but that's what I mean. That's to get your way, you have to be very selfish. No, it's not getting your way. It's getting the proper way, getting what is right, getting what is true. That's what that means. So, if you had any idea what it means to be selfish, you have to look towards Rear Admiral Rodney Carr and Melita Vereen. I'm messing her name up. Melita Vereen, the second in command, the captain of the ship. She is, just excited and she's briefly hesitant. She's kind of, broken in a way. She's kind of, leaning one way and kind of feeling some other type of way, another way. But that's just her. That's just how she's, processing what is to come in the story. So I mean, if you put it out, I put it out there on the web. I put it out there into the atmosphere, into the ether, into the electronic atmosphere. And so you can share it and you can like it and you can comment on it and say, I didn't like when he did this and I didn't like how she did this and I would love for that. And I could, validate every single, question and query that may come up. That's the end goal, to engage with my readers. That would be great, I think. And I wonder if Vocal will, tell me reasons, why I'm number one. I'm saying I want to be number one. I want to be placed. I don't want to place. I want to win. Because 2 is not a winner and 3 nobody remembers. Who said that? What does it take to be number one? 2 is not a winner and 3 nobody remembers. Hey. So that is the gist of all this. That's what makes this special. I think it is a work of, levity. Really, it's not. I don't think it's depressing at all. It's a very, you know, uplifting story, despite what some may find as dark, or, actually the subtitle is called Dark Era, but that gives you a different impression of what it means. Because Dark Era is, from what I understand, this is my understanding, the beginning and the end. It is the period before the masses, or anything was light was in the earth. It was just a dark era. It was just completely not even in the earth, in the universe. Excuse me, in the universe, it was just a dark era. And then at the end of the universe is going to be a dark era. It's going to be nothing. It's just going to be some subatomic particles and things like that. So I named this dark era because it's kind of like a clue into something that may happen later on. It shows what could happen and let you know. So definitely, tune in and read the story, share it. I'm ecstatic about the numbers. The numbers are ridiculous. I mean, it's crazy. I doubled what I did yesterday because it was up 19. I was like, oh, okay. Because starting this week, like I said, it was at 5. Then it went to 8, and I'm like, all right, so it's under double digits, so I'm not doing that great. Then it went to 11. I was like, all right, double digits. Then it did 19, and I was like, all right, we're doing something here. Then it says 17. I said, all right, we dropped a few, dropped 2, then went up by 3, then just rocketed up, up by 20. So it doubled. So I don't know where it came from. It could have been the Fox. I don't want to say Fox. It could be the Facebook Messenger. I don't know. It's probably not what I was trying to do the other day, because the other days are like 5 again, 7, 8, some 10s and 12s, and 18, and 9, a 9, 5. Like it's all over the place. But this is like a rager. This is a rager. I can tell you right now, I have 178 subscribers, zero paid subscribers, 68,189 total reads. Reads last 30 days, 370% change plus 70%. And my total earnings from reads is $393.46. And I paid no taxes. First of all, because those can't be, can't be that much for a calendar year. This is for like 7 years, so this is all cumulative or over time. But yeah, so I'm having fun. I'm having a good time. I like my story. I love my story. I enjoy my story. I'm very selfish about that. It's my story, nobody else's. What's the guy's name? Hold on. Gotta find his name. Labby Sifri. I hope I pronounced that right. I think it's Labby Sifri. My song. That's what I'm playing in my mind right now. Like that's one of my favorite songs of all time. It's gonna be played at my memorial service. It's gonna be played, it's gonna be played, at important events in my life. I'm gonna enjoy doing that. So there's that. I get to enjoy life. That's just so beautiful. I get to enjoy life. That's why it's like it doesn't hurt when I see people that I see 5 people that read that day. 4 was the lowest. I don't think I've ever gone below 4. 4 and 3. I don't think I've ever seen 3 reads. I've seen 4 and up. So I say when I'm going on there and I expect as long as it's 4 and up, I'm all right. Because I'll take the 5s and the 6s, 5 through 9s, all day. But when I see something like this on a 40 day, it's like it's tremendous. It's tremendous because all I think is all I'm thinking is it's got to be vessel control part 2. It's got to be. I mean, what other of my stories are being seen and read like that? I don't think any of my James Baldwin stories are getting read like that I know of. They don't. That's the thing that I meant to say. 2% for 2% off. I sound like I'm at a checking line. But 2% off from 100%. Is 98%, and that's what Vocal does. 1% is that you can't see individual story. How much they've earned. You can't unless you're at a page like for the stats page. And you have to go back and back and back and back, and you still don't know where it is. So you have to like guess and try to find whatever you're looking for when it should be automatic. It should be right next to it, and it takes forever for it to load, of course. But I think it's very enriching. Enriching? Is that word? It enriches my soul. Enriches my mind. I like what Ayn Rand said. Ayn Rand said about art, and it's something that can't be conveyed in something like journalism. It's a different word. It's art for its own, as an end in itself. It's not to any means for anything else. It's as its own right, its own sake to live and breathe, like it's a person. That's what's so great about art, anyway. Because you say, keep it in the present tense, like the characters are alive. I've talked about this previously, but this is one of the cool things that I've learned from English teachers and Ayn Rand. She said that art is an end in itself. It's not to inform. It's not to give you give you ideas on the weather. It's not to give you any political viewpoints or anything like that. It can have embedded in it viewpoints on politics, but that's not its main reason. That's not its main reason for being alive. Not its main reason for truth. It's because it is an end in itself. That's the reason why it is so great. That's the reason why it's wonderful. It's an end in itself. That's what makes writing stories so beautiful for me and wonderful and a great activity. It keeps my mind straight. Like I was not right. I didn't write one. Like I said, I haven't been writing any stories since I think 24 days ago, something like that. I've not written one word at all on Vocal. So it's been great. I haven't written anything, and I've been getting these views. Like that's great because it's supposed to be. If you want to have, I keep on saying views. If you want to have reads, you gotta write. If you can't, you don't get reads unless you write. Well, I wrote once, 24 days ago, and I haven't said anything online yet. But I have picked up, the pen, so they say. Not literally, but I've been writing a screenplay, ready to shoot a movie for YouTube, just to let you guys know about that. That's coming up in the next few months, maybe close to a year, but that's going to happen in the next few months. I've completed the screenplay. I just have to memorize it and shoot it. I'm very excited about that because I think it's going to be a winner. Maybe a Webby winner, Who knows? That's the great thing, though. if you have any idea how short it took me, it was like a labor of love. It was like I just tapped away at the key, like everything just fell into place. Usually it's like, okay, what I need to get this here, I need to make sure that's there. And it wasn't like that for vessel control part 2. It felt like I was just, it just felt like it was a stream of consciousness. Even though it's not stream of consciousness, it felt like that. It was a stream of, just laying down the lines, make sure everything was ordered. Had light editing, not, very serious or heavy. But that was the key. So I implore you, I beg you, I'm begging you, like President Obama begged people, like President Biden begged people, like Vice President Harris is begging people, like Trump begs people. On the last night of the convention, what was on my phone? Hey there, I don't know the exact words, but they're like, hey there, we're going through a time in our country of great change, and could you chip in $40 tonight or something like that? I'm like, $40? These niggas is crazy. $40? What? $40 though? Not even. Even Wikipedia be like, look, man, just chip in like $3. That's all right. $2.70. Yo, you be all right. These people are acting for $40. And they're getting it, not from me, but they're getting it from, campaign wranglers and are they coffers? I don't know even know if that's the right term for that, but campaign managers, I can say that. They're collecting millions of dollars a day on some circumstances. So they're doing something right with those $40. So I got to get something together where it's like, hey, could you give me $40 and tell somebody else to give me $40? Because they got that on lock. They got that together. They're not playing around. They're like, shoot, we can make this money. We can get this money. Vocal.media/fiction/vessel control part 2. Just go to vocal.media. Type in vessel control part 2, because that's the one I'm going for. You can go and look at the original. That's fine too. Nothing wrong with looking at the original. But I'm really focused on vessel control part 2. That's my latest child. It's like you give birth to these children, these mind, babies, these thoughts, and they're arranged on a page. And that's one of my other favorite authors. Ayn Rand is my favorite author by every measure, both fiction and nonfiction. There's nobody else. And then there's my default, my backup squad, or there's Toure and Troy Terrain, Wes Anderson, and August Wilson. Those are at my top, for writers and screenwriters and playwrights and novelists. And not short. He does a few short radio things, but autobiography and philosophy. Mr. Troy Star Terrain. So that's it. Like Toure says he's not. I don't think he's like completely all for selfishness and all for it, but he has like a thing about confidence. He has a thing about you're putting words on a page and you're expecting people to read it. That's an obvious sign of being quote unquote selfish, or self-interested, or confident in a sense in what you're doing. I mean, those are not all interchangeable. I don't want to just put like confidence equals selfishness, but I think he said self-confidence. I think that's what he did say. You arrange words on a page. You're not saying, "Oh shucks, you read my story, oh well, Thanks a lot. I didn't really mean for you to read it, but thanks a bunch. Nobody who says that. No, people are very, tacit, very quiet, very reserved. They don't say, yeah, I'm the best ever to do it. I'm the greatest. Like Ayn Rand could have said that, but she didn't. She just knew that she was. And when asked, she just said, I think so. That was it. She wasn't say, yeah, I'm the best ever. She just said, I think so. Yeah, I think I'm worthy of that because of the work she had to put in for it. Atlas Shrugged, Anthem, We the Living, and the Fountainhead and Atlas Shrugged, and those are just in order of length, But in the time she wrote it was We the Living, Anthem, the Fountainhead, and Atlas Shrugged, and like a half dozen, I think, nonfiction books. Or a little over it, but yeah, they all correspond, they all match, and there's such a clarity there. There's such a clarity to her voice. That's what this always struck me. I'm like, and the fact that it got me was like, I don't feel like reading no footnotes. I don't feel like reading them. I don't feel like reading all the footnotes at the end of the story. She has quotes from her own fiction books and nonfiction pieces. She has in some cases, not in all cases, in some cases, she has no footnotes or any liner notes or anything to go under her words. She just goes based off of her own observations and her own rational mind. Some stories some works of nonfiction she does attribute to different publications and things of that nature, but for the most part, it's all her. It's all Ayn Rand. So you gotta respect that about her. That's what I do like about writing. I've been writing since I was 5 years old. I've been reading since I was 4 years old. My dad taught me how to read. He taught me how to write. And this is the weird thing with time. I'm 36 years old right now. That was 31 years ago, 32 years ago. This thing goes fast. It is not slow. It is not laborsome. It can be in different circumstances. If you're being tortured or something like that, that's when it feels slow. That's when life grinds to a disgusting and horrific halt, or almost to a halt. But if you're living your life, you're having a good time like I am, having a wonderful time, it goes by fast. I mean, the time obviously, it seems like it goes by fast because your brain is processing it. Your brain is processing it differently than time. Time is constant. Time just moves. It goes on. It's an abstract. But your brain is taking in like, oh, we're doing something. And then you look up. I remember my days in my 9 to 5s. I remember, I'm looking at the clock. Oh, it's 11 o'clock a.m. God damn, I got 6 hours left. This is crazy. So it gets to that point. So you're feeling like, oh man, but then you're in your job, whatever job you got, whatever you're doing, whatever you're hustling. You realize, you look up at the clock, and you're like, whoa, it's 4:30. What the hell? I didn't know it was that quick. Damn, I just been putting in work. I don't know. I didn't even realize the time. That happens to me on this platform. I'll be going off, running off with the mouth. Then I look up at the time, like, damn, I got 5 minutes left. This is crazy. But definitely check out the description. Check out the story itself. Read it. Comment on it. Share it. Do whatever you can do to make sure it is within the bounds of greatness. Let it be known that it is a work of genius. No, that's not proper. You know, people that call themselves geniuses, even if you were a genius, like Ayn Rand never called herself a genius, even though she was obviously a genius. It's just improper. It's not proper for you to label yourself that. It's improper. So, and I'm not like, it's not even that the fact that I'm not good at math. I mess up on words too. So I can't be classified as definitely as a genius because I fail in both of those situations. I just have to be my own. I say, my story could be, maybe that's not even proper. I just say my story exists for its own sake. And you have to make up your mind to say what you think of it and how you receive it and how you enjoy it. That's what you got to do. But that's all on you. That's all up to you. All on your dime. All on your way of saying something, of showing something. That's the best way of communicating. When you show people that you are very interested in your work, you are invested in your work. You enjoy your work. Not a lot of people enjoy the work. Yeah, girl, I gotta go in here. I gotta do this. I don't feel like it, but I gotta get that paycheck. Yeah. Can't wait till Friday. Yeah. I always like disparage those kind of women. Even men. Men say too, men, dog, I gotta get out here, but I gotta hit up this, this work. Put in, I gotta do it. I don't feel like it, but I gotta get that check. I gotta get that check. Just saying. I'm just fortunate. I get a nice deposit from Uncle Sam. I appreciate that. I deserve that. So it's very important for myself to understand the differences that we have here. And I hope we don't have too many differences, because even if we do have differences, that's fine too. There's nothing wrong with that. But I hope there's no differences on the work. I mean, you can have a different opinion. I'm not going to say, oh, you have to think exactly like I do. That's vicious. That's not right. It's evil. But I would like you to be honest about what you read and what you know is right, and have competence regarding that. Have the right thinking pattern. Have the right thoughts. I mean, this is one of the greatest time periods in all. This is not one of the greatest. This is the greatest time period in all of human history. The water hasn't been cleaner. The air has been clearer. I mean, we live in a great time. The crime. This is what people forget. There was no ring in AD, whatever, 500 AD. There was no ring. You had to you had to bury things under the ground so that nobody could get them. They have songs coming like a thief in the night. The night. I can't sing, but that's fine. But yeah, coming like a thief in the night. Because there were a lot of thieves that would come in the night. And there weren't very many newscasters that would go and say, be careful, keep your doors locked, keep your cars locked, make sure you have all your belongings stashed and stored away. They didn't say that on the evening news in 500 AD. That didn't happen. Not even up to 1896. That was just starting to happen. Maybe in 1957 it started, a little bit more. The idealism of, reporting on vandals and which are a totally different group of people, but reporting on people that seek to thieve. I think that may be a word, but seek to steal from you. But that was the case, thousands of years ago. It's not the same way nowadays. We have a totally different system. We have the police force, we have law courts, and we have the military to protect our rights. Without them, we have nothing. We have rampage. We have blood in the streets, as somebody famous once said. That's what we have, though. So, greatest period of all time. I mean, look at the toys. I mean, I call them toys, but they're for work, but they're so much fun. I have this MacBook. I'm having fun with it. I have an Apple phone. I have fun with it. I have Beats. I have a pill. I have this light source. It's great. Why would I complain? I won't complain. I'm like the gospel song. I won't complain. It's very important that we have this. That we have this time together. Because without this time, we don't have anything. And that's people like to piss and moan. That's what gets on my nerves. Piss and moan. Oh, well, I only make $12 an hour. Okay, $12 an hour in the greatest society ever conceived. Oh, but I only make $9.50 an hour. You make $9.50 in the greatest society ever conceived. There are people who make 50 cents an hour and are happy because they were making 6 cents an hour in a paddy field. That's real. So when you see documentaries about Apple Apple Inc. or Apple Computers, I don't even know. They changed their name to Inc. or Computers, or just I think it's just Apple. When you see documentaries of Foxconn get with nets to catch people from jumping out the window, that's a totally different situation. That's totally different. That means that they're not enjoying their work, which they should, because they're getting a great amount of money. And that's not Apple's fault. That's not Apple's problem. That's the problem of an oppressive government that they live under. That's the issue there. So, with all the horrific things that are going on in the world, Ukraine and Russia and Israel and everybody, I laugh, but I'm serious. It's like nobody wants to come to Israel's side unless it's U.S. U.S. is like the biggest ally to Israel. Everybody's like, Israel. France is like Israel. Germany's like Israel. Italy's like Israel. USA's like Israel. Israel, we're good, right? Like, y'all need something? Y'all need some help? Even with our own issues, with our capacity to be, fear mongers and warmongers, and that all changes. All that changes. So I'm happy. I'm glad. I'm glad the fact that we have a greater sense of ourselves. And I'm just glad that I'm an American citizen. God damn it. Like crazy. What is that about? I won the lottery. You win the lottery if you're born in America. I don't care who you are, what you're doing. You can be making $6 an hour. Like I said before, there's people making 50 cents an hour who used to be making 6 cents an hour. But I don't care, because like Dr. Jerome Brooks said, poor people, they got iPhones, they got cars, they got air conditioning. Real poverty just sand and flies and death and malaria and death and just horrific standpoint and rape and terrible ideas. That's it's most of Africa. It's dirt and AIDS, basically, and that's controversial, but it's true. And I mean that in a sarcastic way, but seriously, I mean, Africa is a basket case. It's been like that for a long time. Some parts of it are beautiful. Nigeria has Nollywood. They have some of the highest educated rates in all the world. But at the same time, the rest of it, sub-Saharan Africa, oh my God, what a hellhole. What a hellhole. Terrible. Horrific. It's just a shame. It's sad. And I'm, like I said, I'm selfish. So I wouldn't go to, Africa as an aid. As I would say, give them moral support, but not physical support. Because they don't have enough to pay back. They can't give back on they can't provide on the loan. They can't make good on the loan of weapons, ammunition, different things like that to make war against all these horrific roving groups that rape and kill people and have been doing it for centuries. That's what I'm talking about. But look where I'm going. Look how far I go. I told you I can go astray. Because I only got 0 people in here. It's been 0, 1, 2. The most was 2. It's probably going to be like 5 or 6 views. I don't care. I don't care about the views because I got reads. I got the reads. And I'm waiting for that to drop. Like every time I see it go up, I'm like, man, it's going to drop. It's going to drop. It's got to drop. But does it have to drop? Can it double? Can it go 40 to 80? Can 80 go to 160? 160 go to 320, 320 go to 640, and so on and so on and so on and so on. I just had to put that out there because I have this story, and I just came up with it, and I like it, and I hope you like it too. I hope you enjoy it, and if you do, if you hate it, you say, man, this shit is trash. Man, you don't know how to write. You can't write for nothing. Say that. Be real. I need that. I have a acquaintance. She's like for another story that she read from me. I got the top story from the site, but she said, and this is an objectivist. She said, I want to say if I can say this verbatim. What did she say? She said, underdeveloped plot, no climax, too short. That was her little, notes on my story. I appreciated that because she told the truth. She didn't like sugarcoat anything. Well, you could kind of have all you needed to do was no. She said straight to the point. Bam, no climax, too short. Like right there, bam. I needed that. I needed that bit of truth, and that's all I need from you. You out there who read this story and you share this story. You say, man, yeah, I gotta read it. I gotta read that. I gotta read that. And let me see. Share it with me. Put it on my page or whatever it is. That's the idea of what I'm doing. Because I'm only one man. I can't be anybody else. I can't be anybody else's brain. That's one of the greatest things I learned from Ayn Rand. Can you have my own lungs? Can I breathe your lungs? Can I digest with your stomach? No. And I definitely can't use your brain. I can't use your mind. We can't use that. Conjoined twins. They're conjoined at the head. They share maybe brain tissue, but they don't share minds. That's a fact. So we have to be mindful of that truth. The fact that we are individuals. We ought to be selfish. You have the choice of being selfish or sacrificial, altruistic, whimsical. Altruism. We got time. I'm gonna say this in the next just about 5 minutes. Altruism is the sickest treacle, slash poison, there possibly is, because it sounds sweet and nice and everything, but it's poison. It's killing you. It's sweet and sickly sweet, like chlorine gas. That's what altruism is. Altruism is leukemia. It's a poison in the blood. It really is never around, but when it's fostered, when it's proposed, when it's shown, you can definitely tell what it is. You can see it. Of course, in our morality, we have a man that died for the sins of the world, not for his own sins, but because of himself, his other people. And how's that? Are they not? If this is from Atlas Shrugged, if he's virtuous and what? See, that's why I don't like quoting shit, because I always mess it up. If he's selfless and virtuous as he gave his life, isn't the human race selfish and vicious for accepting the fact that he died for the sins of humanity? I mean, really, I'm taking. I was paraphrasing from Atlas Shrugged, but I'm tying it into Christianity because that's the dominant faith what we have nowadays. I'm gonna go see it on full display in church tomorrow, most likely. So that's the sad part. That's what makes it very sad. And that's what makes it difficult to spot out what selfishness is. Like you had the people at their quinceañeras or their sweet 16, and it's all or bridezillas or something like that, or I'm trying to think of guys. Guys are obviously self-interested too, but not in the same way as I'm saying. It's, you're being irrational. It's either selfish or you're irrational. That's the difference, because you're not irrationally self-interested. There's no such thing as irrational self-interest. You're being irrational in that sense. To be selfish means that you care about values. To be selfish means that you care about your own life and your own people, the people that are in your life, and the things that you have, your job, your belongings, your things that you all create and make up who you are. That's selfish. We've been tainted. We've been torn apart. Nobody ever says you're being selfish and mean it in a good way. Nobody says, "Oh, you're being selfish. Oh, this is so selfish. Oh, wow, this is selfish. Oh my God, this is selfish." Nobody does that. I mean, if you're not an objectivist, which is what 50,000 people probably in the United States, maybe 100,000 people in the world. I don't know the metrics. I don't know. I can't tell the metrics. So I always wonder that. I have to ask Dr. Brooke, what way can we find out how many people are actually objectivists in the United States and the world? See what the number is. We can kind of go by book sales, but then again, that's like, oh, that's a nice read, and I'm still back to going to Catholic school or Christian Baptist sermons and stuff like that. Atlas Shrugged, that was a neat little read. That was nice. That was cute. Oh my God, blew my mind. But I still gotta cling to Jesus. I gotta cling on to Jesus. That's the thing I get from people that have read Atlas Shrugged and fountainhead and things of that nature. Some people, not everybody. Obviously, some people are forever changed, and they change their religious affiliation or something like that. So we have to be on the lookout for it. All right, so I want to end on that note. End on the part where it says read and share Vessel Control Part 2. All that you can do. Please read it. I'm begging you. I'm imploring you. Read the story. It'll set you straight. It'll give you a good, be like, whoa, I didn't see that coming. Wow. Like I said, at least one reader said, she said, we're having she said I had a moment where I was completely shocked. I was like, oh, I've audibly gasped. Oh my god. Like it kind of just took her for a moment, So hope that does for you what it did for her, and make sure you share, because that's what it's all about. It's like you have a match. What can you do? Can you light a whole, patch on fire and, let it burn? Or are you just going to keep the match all to yourself and watch it wither away and burn your hand, your fingers, your fingertips? So thank you very much. I appreciate all of you for watching. Take care.